Hi guys, it's your boy Pedro here again. Today we're going to be doing some chili mushrooms. So as you see, there's the mushrooms here. I already went ahead and seasoned up some. So this is the seasoned up ones here. So what we're going to be using is some parsley. As I said, most of it is already chipped up, so I'm just going to chip the rest of it and just put it in. Some chives. Everything that I'm using here is locally grown. And some dandelion, some onions. We already got some onions before, just added some more. Put in garlic already, some garlic. Put in the rest of the parsley. And I'm just going to throw in the rest of the mushrooms. So I'm going to just mix them up. I also had put in some basil, some thyme, black pepper, maybe some more. I kind of love black pepper. I also put in a normal bell pepper. I also put in a little paprika, and I'm going to use Robert's browning. I kind of like this one. And a little Worcester sauce, and it's by Country Boy. So first we're going to do, turn the stove on, let the pan get a little warm. I also put in Italian seasoning. I put in some curry. I just like to add a lot of herbs and stuff to my plates. So that's I'm just gonna. I'm also adding I'm also going to add some kidney beans, but these will go on as it comes close to the finish. So as the frying pan gets warm, I'm using grapeseed oil. Yeah, this is actually very good. It's something like the olive oil, but this here stands up to the heat better. Olive oil to me is for more colder stuff like salads and stuff. There you get all of the ingredients and you won't burn out any. But grapeseed can take the temperature a lot better than the other oils. I use only 3 oils. I use grapeseed oil, sunflower oil, or the olive oil, and mostly extra virgin olive oil. But to me, the grapeseed oil stands up more to the heat than the olive oil. So what I'm going to do is, here's a napkin. I'm going to get a little napkin. So I don't like a lot of oil, so I like to pour it on the napkin first. Not too much. And then I just rub it into the frying pan. Right. So the frying pan wouldn't be sticky. Like as you see, I don't really use a lot of oil. So as I said, there we go. Just adding a little brown into this. So I want you to see the texture of this browning. So get a spoon, so as I pour it, you guys can see it. I don't want to use too much at first. Just look at the texture in this brownie. See, it's nice and thick. Nice and thick. Just about not even a half spoonful. So I just pour it all over this. And then mix it up. I do not cook my stuff. I don't overcook my stuff. Let's put it that way. So as I put it in the frying pan, I will add a little more of the browning to it. And I will add a little more oil mixed in. So I think the frying pan should be nice and hot. Yes, it is. It's steaming. Yeah, like that. So I just pour all this into this one little frying pan. I think I use a smaller frying pan. Right, it's okay. Right, there you go. You guys can see it. So I move these two plastics off of the stove. Move the bottle off the stove. And as I said, because I use tissue, I always like to wipe the stove down. I always like to wipe the stove down. It's an electrical stove. It's always nice to wipe it down. So at the end, nothing don't really stick on. Like I said, it's just tissue, so you just throw it away. So you can hear it simmering there. So what I would do with this now, I would take some water and put in here and get the ingredients out of the bottom of this. So I'll let that water settle and I'll pour a little more of the browning into the water. Just a couple of drops. There you go. Just stir this up so the browning don't settle at the bottom of the. Okay. So this is what it would look like when you pour the browning in it, nice and brown. So we just going to stir this up a little. Try to get as much of it warm. But sometimes you can use a bigger pan, but this is mostly for me, so the wife might take some later when she comes home, but this is mostly for me. Well, I'm going to actually take some of my guys just to taste. Just to show them that you can play with your food. You don't have to eat all of the flesh and the meat. Well, you don't have to eat the flesh because actually the herbs and the seeds and the plants, they're actually the meat of the earth. The flesh, whereas the blood, that's the animals. So, I could be wrong, but that's how I look at it. So you just stir them up. Remember, I do not overcook my food. I don't. I just like to get a nice little heat. So I just get a little more heat. I'm going to pour the water in on it. Just make sure everybody get the chance to get in that heat. I don't let my stuff overcook. I actually mostly cook my stuff in case there's any bugs or anything on it that the heat would kill it. But otherwise, I usually eat most of my stuff raw. Yeah, I just if I'm doing vegetables and stuff like that, I would just wash off. I usually wash them off. Sometimes I don't even peel them, and they just boil the hot water and they just pour it. That's it. That's how I like my stuff. I do not overcook. One drop out, but he wouldn't survive. Heaven. I'm sorry you guys can't hear it already. Smell this. If you are passing outside my house now and you smell this, you actually feel I'm doing let's call that mixed meat, because it has that same scent, that same mixed meat scent because of all the herbs. So I'm gonna let it just simmer down a little bit. So you see, as high as it was, you see it's going right back down flat now to a nice, right? There you go. That's what you want. Just want to bring it down. You don't want it overcooked, so you just keep moving it. Don't want it to stick to the pan, so you keep moving it. Because when you add the water, in the water, so we're going to add the water right now. So always hold it a little bit away from the heat and just pour. There you go. So you let this here settle, come to a boil before you put in the red beans, the kidney beans. Because if you put in the kidney beans too early, they will go soft. Sometimes what I do, I actually do my kidney beans from the start. But today I using the kidney beans from the can. I usually boil my kidney beans. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pour a little of the grapeseed oil in. Not much. There you go. That's it. You want to know? Now always keep a piece of rag so that any of the drippings you can just wipe off so it don't run down the bottle and dirty the counter or stuff like that. So always have a piece of rag, a piece of tissue, and you just wipe off the bottle and you cork it back so there's no accidents. So always cork it tight. Because if you have little kids, you don't want them, you don't want to cover or thing to drop on the ground and the little ones that's crawling put it in their mouth and then you have a problem. So as you finish with something, cork it back down. It's better for you to unscrew it than for a kid to swallow it. So once you're in the kitchen, you always have to be aware of your surroundings, especially if you have kids. Now, another thing you didn't see me put is salt. I do not cook with salt. The beans that's from the can has, for me, enough salt. So I don't really use salt like that. For me to get my salt, sometimes I have every now and then I have some salt water from the sea, or I have some salted nuts. So right now we're gonna let this here just come to a boil. It's nice. And whenever you're testing something, always use a different spoon to taste. So you always have a different spoon to taste. And when you're tasting, you don't put the spoon into your mouth. When you're tasting, you just get a little, you can cool it a little bit, pour it in your hand, and you taste. Just rest it somewhere. But if you're using a spoon and you're stirring whatever you're cooking, do not put the spoon to your mouth, especially if other people is going to eat, whether it be your family or not. It's called cooking respect. If you know you're going to share your food with someone else, think about the person. Don't do certain things. So we're going to add a little Worcestershire sauce, because this actually could go as your salt. Let's taste this. See how this is too salty. This is. I'll put in a couple drops, but not too much. 1, 2. That's like 4. I'll just cork it back. Remember, and then you just wipe the top so any of the spills running down won't dirty your counter, or when you put the back up into your pantry, it won't dirty the pantry. So as this here boil, I will put in also a little ketchup, not much. So just put in a little ketchup, shake it in. There you go. That's it. No more than that. So what you do, you lower the temperature of the stove. Just lower it down, bring it under medium, go over to the lower side, the lower half. If it starts at 9 or 8 or 10, bring it down to about 4 or 3. So just gonna stir it up with this. Then we're gonna taste it again. Now pour it in your hand. Nice. It has a nice flavor. So I'm just gonna let it simmer a little bit here before I put in the red beans. So I got one more surprise for you guys, something that I like to use, and it is barbecue sauce. I love to put a little barbecue sauce in my sauces. Depends on what I'm doing. So I'll just use 1 spoonful. That's it. See, 1 spoonful. I pour him in there. So I cork him back down. Though it didn't drip, it's a habit, so I just wipe off the top. Remember, whenever you're doing something, always try to keep your surroundings clean so you have less flies in your house. So as you finish with something, you either throw it to the garbage or put it in the sink to do wash. Put back at the, look, everything you're finished with, you just put the back in the place. So as it comes to a nice little ball, then we're gonna take it off. Clean up your working area. Always remember, just keep your area clean. You will have less flies in your house. And if you cannot afford to keep the hand towels, just use a normal cloth towel, but every 2 days you just wash it. So right now I'm just going to wipe down. Then when I finish everything, I will use some Clean and just wipe the whole thing down. That way there's less flies in the place. So I'm not finished with this, so I'll just keep that there. Always keep your work area, even if you're home, always keep your work area nice and clean. So we're gonna test this one more time. We're gonna go a little taste it again. Remember, put it in your hand. Nice. So now we're gonna add our kidney beans. And we're gonna add a little more pepper sauce because for me, this is not hot enough. But as I said, you guys do it to your taste. I might need some more pepper sauce. You guys might not need any. So I have to get some more pepper sauce. Now, I can't remember the name of the pepper sauce. I think it's called One Drop. But this pepper sauce I bought from a lady that live about 2 blocks away from me in St. George. So if you guys want to get some really nice hot pepper sauce, link me up on YouTube and I'll give you her address. I'll give you her address, right? So I'm just going to use a couple drops of this because this is really, really hot. Oh, that's too much. So try to get it back inside. There you go. So you see, I'm using this much of this pepper sauce because it's really, really hot. It's really, really nice. As I said, if you guys are interested in getting this pepper sauce, you could just send me a message on YouTube and I will contact the lady and get you guys hooked up because we have to help each other out. So just taste this again. Perfect. That's it. So I'm going to turn the stove up a little bit. As it comes to a boil, I'm going to turn it off because it's finished. So, you know me, once I'm doing something, I gotta taste it. Those little in my mouth just now is nothing. Just let me get some of this. Let me get some mushrooms. There you go. So, let me get a fork. So, here we go, guys. You know what? I'm not even letting this do anymore. I'm just turning this off because everything is nice and crunchy. The onions nice and crunchy. The celery nice and crunchy. This is, guys, I'm so sorry you can't be here to try this. This is amazing. So there you have it, guys. My chili mushrooms with kidney beans, with red kidney beans. So again, it's your boy Pedro Richards. Follow me on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. We have a lot more stuff to go to. I got a lot more stuff to share with you guys, like my exercising, my holistic journey, basically. We're not eating of flesh. So I hope you guys could join me on this journey. I'll be teaching you guys how to use water properly, how to eat, chew properly, stuff like that. So again, I love you guys. Share with your friends. Pedro Richards on YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe, and